Hey guys, what's up? It's Behind the Badge, your friendly gaming police officer. Today's video, we'll be going over how to select a main for Battle for Azeroth. Hope you guys enjoy the video, and don't forget to like and subscribe. When selecting a main, the first thing you want to do is figure out what role you'd like to play. There's range DPS, melee DPS, healing, and tanking. Now the trickiest part about selecting a main is selecting one of the 12 classes that best fits your playstyle. Warriors are up-close personal fighters who offer 2 melee DPS specs and 1 tanking spec. Paladins are sort of like holy warriors. You have a melee DPS spec, a tanking spec, and a healing spec. Hunters are able to have pets. It offers 2 range DPS specs and 1 melee DPS spec. Rogues are able to sneak around using stealth. They offer 3 melee DPS specs, all of which somewhat play the same but are different in other ways. Priests offer the power of healing, shielding, or using shadow for damage. They have 2 healing specs and 1 range DPS spec. Shamans are able to call upon the power of the elements to either do damage or heal. It offers a melee DPS spec, a range DPS spec, and a healing spec. Mages harness the power of Frost, Fire, and Arcane. It offers 3 range DPS specs. Warlocks deal Shadow and Fire damage, and they are able to call upon demons to assist them in battle. Warlocks offer 3 range DPS specs. Monks specialize in hand-to-hand combat, and they're also able to call upon the power of the mist for healing. Monks offer a melee DPS spec, a tanking spec, and a healing spec. Druids are master shapeshifters. They offer melee DPS with a cat form, range DPS with a moonkin form, tanking with a bear form, and healing with a tree form. Demon hunters use forbidden magic to hunt their enemies. It offers a melee DPS spec and a tanking spec. Death Knights deal damage with dark magic and diseases. It offers 2 melee DPS specs and a tanking spec. After figuring out which class to play, the next step is to figure out if you'd like to be Alliance or Horde. Some realms are very one-sided, so I like to use a site called realmpop.com to figure out which realm I'd like to play on. I personally enjoy playing on 50-50 realms, meaning 50% are Alliance and 50% are Horde. For that, my main realm is Emerald Dream on US. It sort of offers the best of both worlds for PvE, PvP, and World PvP. After picking Alliance or Horde in the realm you're going to be playing on, the next step is to select what race you want to play. It's important to remember that each race can't play each class, so you got to figure out and sort of match what you want to do. After overviewing each race in your chosen faction, the next step is really to optimize what are the best racials for the class you chose. For example, I chose a Troll Shaman for BFA because of Berserk, which increases attack and casting speed. Keep in mind, you do not have to choose a race just to optimize your racials to your chosen class. The only reason I do that is because I'm a very competitive person. It's how I have the most fun. I like to try to compete for top ladder spots. I like to try to compete for top DPS spots. Even if I'm not going to get there, that little extra edge just sort of makes me have a bit more fun because I am a very competitive person. If you are a casual player just looking to have fun and enjoy the game and just sort of do your own thing, play what your heart desires. Otherwise, you're going to get very bored. You're going to end up wanting to switch things around. You're going to want to switch classes. You want to switch races. It's going to be a huge waste of time, and if you end up quitting, it's going to be a huge waste of money. Now, guys, you have to understand, the only real definitive way to get an answer on what to main is to really test out each class and spec on your own. Blizzard does offer class trials through creating a character, so you're able to mess around a little bit and sort of find what you want to play. You can watch hundreds of these videos, more in-depth ones than this, and less in-depth ones than this, but they're really not going to give you a real answer. Sure, it'll help pick your brain, but the best way to do this is to pick your own brain and sort of figure out what you enjoy playing. I didn't want to go too in-depth with this video. In fact, I didn't really go in-depth whatsoever because I wanted to eliminate all the bias I could from deciding on what class to main. Now, the reason behind that is really because, things change, numbers change. You should decide on a class on what you most enjoy and the playstyle you most enjoy, and that's for you to figure out. This video is really just to somewhat pick your brain a little bit and maybe lead you in a direction of what you wanted to choose to play. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.